Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn our history first lesson, that is tracing changes through 1,000 years. 1,000 years means it starts from the 700 to 1700 CE. So in your 6th class you have already completed the period from the ancient. Your history has divided into 3 parts: Indian history, that is ancient period, medieval period, and the modern history. So in your 6th class you have finished your ancient period. Now in your 7th class you are going to learn about the medieval period. What is a medieval period? Where it starts, if you ask it out, that is from the 700 to 1700 CE, and the dates and everything already we have finished in the 6th class, how historians have decided. Now let us check it out how this first lesson will give you the background information to focus mainly on the medieval period and how you frame the entire and what are the aspects that supported to the medieval period. Let us check it out. Now, if you know that you have listened Akbar and Birbal stories a lot, and you have listened that Krishnadevaraya stories and also Tenali Ramakrishna stories, or else you have listened various kinds of stories related to the medieval histories. So who were these kings from? Who were these kings? Actually, where did they come from? Whether they belongs to India only, or they were coming from, they had come from the different regions and invaded our India. All these things we will learn in this lesson. First, our topic starts with the cartography. Cartography. What is meant by cartography? It's a study of maps. Cartographer. What is meant by cartographer? Who makes the map. So, this cartography helped to the medieval period people to invade our India, not even invade, to know the wealthiest places, to know the resourceful places in a different regions, and they have gone through all these regions, and they invaded or they tried to occupy the different regions. Here we will talk about the two major cartographers which had given Indian map, or which had given the world maps in a various methods. When you open your textbook, you are finding two different maps. The first one is made by the Al-Idrisi, the Arab cartographer in the 12th century, and the second map with Guillaume, made by the French cartographer Guillaume. He had prepared that map in the 18th century. There is a difference in between these two maps, 600 years. Once if you check it out, the Al-Idrisi map, there is a difference with all the maps, like north is on the down of the paper, and south is on the top of the paper. Like Sri Lanka is on the top of the paper and India is on the down of the paper. You can check it in the textbook page. So that is the interesting fact about the Al-Idrisi map, and for 3 centuries Al-Idrisi maps were used because of Al-Idrisi had given the detail, and he tried to portray the real geographical features in his maps. That is what his maps were important in those days, in the 12th century, and for the 3 centuries also. When you come to Guillaume map in the next page, that is similar to our right now India map, and detailed about small regions also in the map. So this is the major difference in between the two maps. When the cartography has changed, evolved in the different centuries, the map making also changed and also developed from century to another century. So this gave, once you see that Kanaus in both the maps, that Kanaus is an important place, like for example, if you take Hyderabad is a capital state for the Telangana and also important for the many sectors. Similarly, Kanaus was an important place in those days. So those details which were given in the maps attracted the invaders to come and invade the India, or to occupy the wealth which is existed in the India. New and old terminologies. Let us check out our language, our regional language which we are speaking. If you talk about the Telangana region, if you talk about the Andhra Pradesh region, two regions speak the same Telugu language, but the both languages in the slang and in the accent, everything is different. What they pronounce, what they speak also, some words also completely different. The same way, from medieval period to modern India, there are different languages. The same languages have different meanings in the different words. For example, Hindustan is a word. Hindustan is a word which is given by the Minhaj-e-Siraj. He was a person, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who had explained in one Prashasti. Prashasti is nothing but the exaggerating of personal king or any of the territory which they belongs to. So is the word generally what we think Hindustan means our entire India. According to our terminology, Hindustan means the entire India comes under. But according to Minhaj-e-Siraj, that term Hindustan belongs to only Punjab, Haryana and Ganga Yamuna regions, which four regions which are belongs to only these places comes under in the Hindustan. And when you talk about the other word which has given like a Hindu which has given by Amir Khusrau, Hind. This is also one more word given by the Amir Khusrau. This word is also similar to the Sindh word which is Indus River. So those are the words they have given, but the Hind is different from the medieval period language and nowadays language. One more word, it is a foreigner. Foreigner in the sense what we think which are not belongs to India. The out of India whoever comes, it may be from Pakistan to America, whoever comes, all these comes under in the foreigner to us. But in those days in the medieval period, foreigner in the sense the person who does not belongs to the given territory. It might be one village to another village. It might be village to city. So a city peasant, a city farmer, okay, peasant means farmer. A city peasant is a foreigner to the village peasant. So like that there are different terminologies. Even if you talk about the foreigner word in the Hindi language, that is Pardesi, and when you talk the same word foreigner as in a Persian language as Ajnabi. So these are the different terminologies they used in the medieval period. So how historians has framed the medieval period? What are the sources that have given the information to the historians whether these are really happened, or what are the sources in which time period, and what is the real fact which had happened? All these things we will have to find out in it. So these are the sources. Like in your 6th class, what you have: inscriptions, monuments, manuscripts. These were the sources for the ancient history, and stones, bones which were excavated by the archaeology department. Like that, in the medieval period also we have coins, inscriptions, architecture and textual records. So about the inscriptions already you have learned in the 6th class, and which inscription is nothing but the message or the firman or the royal order or the information which has engraved on the hard surfaces, that comes under the inscription. Coins, you know, already we are using the currency coins or any special coins. Similarly like that they have minted so many coins for the purpose of currency. And the architecture you will learn in your 5th chapter in detail. Architecture is nothing but the constructions. Here there is a point that when India is invaded by the Islamic rulers or Afghan rulers which had come from the out of India, when they started constructing of the tombs, or when they constructed of like Taj Mahal, etc., they had adopted the Persian culture and Arab culture and also the Indian architecture culture. Togetherly they made the Hindustan architecture culture in the architecture. So this we will learn in the 5th chapter in detail, what are the construction they had done. And the next one, and the important one for the medieval period, is textual records. What are the textual records that we have? Why this textual records played an important role? Textual record, already we have talked about the Prashastis, which they had given as the inscriptions, and also they had given in the notebooks. Sorry, they have given in the books which they have written, and also manuscripts. Important thing we have learned in the 6th class also. One more time, here many of the wealthy people, peasants, wealthy peasants and royal persons which are interested in the literature, all these kind of wealthiest people had brought the manuscripts and tried to change the manuscripts from one language to another languages. They when they were trying, they used the helping, okay na, as a person, scribe. We have a lot of changes in the textual records writing. We know already Prashastis. Prashastis are nothing but they are little bit exaggerating of their kings and all in their written books. And in medieval period, paper production has increased and paper became cheaper than the other things. and as there are no printing press or machines inventions, they used the help of scribes in copying or writing the textual records or whatever the books they had written. And scribe is nothing but is a copyist, the person who copy from one language to another language. So here I'll give you one example. What is the example? You are trying to copy your mathematics problem from your friend notebook. When you copy, what do? If you do not understand any of the word of your friend handwriting, you generally copy the same text, or you assume your previous knowledge and you write the text, you change that, and there will be a changes from the original problem to your problem. Similarly, when these scribes are changing the manuscripts already we have talked in the 6th class. So manuscripts are nothing but Manu had written the script about the human life, how to lead of Indian culture. So those scripts, when they were changing into different languages, these scribes had copied that. So when these when scribes are copying those things, what happened? Some of the words, some of the sentences which they do not understand, they applied their knowledge and changed their manuscripts volumes from one to another one. There were so many scribes, and we talk about especially Ziauddin Barlim. So this person had written 2 volumes of manuscripts in different languages. Ziauddin Barli had written 2 volumes of manuscripts in 1356 and 1358. So these are the 2 years. First volume he had written. Actually, we did not find the first volume. Second volume we found in the 1970s. Even first volume also we have found in 1970s. Like early 20th century, we found the volumes of 2 manuscripts which had written by Ziauddin, and these 2 were, why I am saying this point, because one is different from the other. The first volume is different from the second volume. You see that one single person has written and 2 are different. The same way scribes have written lot of. Now historians had to read lot of manuscript books which are written by the different scribes, and they need to figure out that real manuscript what it has contained. After whatever we completed up to the session, if you have any doubt, you can ask me, or you can mail me, or you can message me at any time. I am ready to give you the clarifications. Once after listening the class, please go through the textbook and try to answer the questions which I am going to give you. Thank you.